Hello, Dan.
Morning, Jim. How's the wound?
Oh, I'll live, which is more than I can say for a couple of hundred of our compatriots.
You're completely outmanned. There's little help for that.
And outgunned. They must have ported those cannons overland. Dan, I've got orders for you. You've got to get into St. Vincent somehow and get Cobb out.
Cobb?
Philip Cobb, a schoolteacher, a patriot, and I guess a genius. He worked out the secret code that the entire Continental Army uses, has been using for months. Now, if the British make him talk, they'll know every troop movement and battle order from Albany to New Orleans.
Any chance of changing that code?
Oh, sure, but there are dozens of messages still in circulation. Now, once they break Cobb's code, they'll be able to trace the messages to the contact men in every city and town. The whole network will be spelled out simpler than a first-grade reader.
You sure they know who Cobb is?
No, I'm not sure. Now, this code could win or lose the war. If you can't get Philip Cobb out, you're going to have to kill him.
Professor Cobb! Professor! Open up! Professor Cobb! Professor, open up! Professor! Open up! Professor Cobb! Professor, open up! All right, break it in. Professor Cobb, you're under arrest. I know. And you also know that the city has been under British military authority since 8 o'clock this morning. It is under that authority that I order you to turn over all notes, papers, and memoranda in your possession.
There are no such things in my possession any longer. There they are.
Daniel Boone, what a doer, what a dream comer, truer was he. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the rippin'est, roaring'est, fighting'est man the frontier ever knew. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Oh, Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. Daniel Boone was a doer, what a dream comer, truer was he. Daniel Boone, Daniel Boone.
It's your business here, sir.
Any kind of heavy work that needs doing. Carrying brick, chopping wood, loading wagons. Town looks deserted. Where is everybody?
Staying in their homes out of trouble.
Trouble? What do you mean?
This community's under martial law, sir. If you're planning on coming in, you'll have to give me that rifle.
Well, I wasn't planning on shooting much game in St. Vincent anyway.
You can pick it up when you get ready to leave. There's a sundown curfew. If you're seen on the streets after dark, you'll be buried with full honors, sir.
I'll keep that in mind. How's the bread business?
Daniel Boone.
Hey, when'd you get here?
Just now.
Any trouble getting in?
No?
You hungry?
You still making those hot cross buns with the honey on top?
Sit down. Hot out of the oven, Dell. How's the family?
Wonderful. How's yours?
Oh, everybody's fine around here except for what's going on out there.
A barrier at the edge of town. How many men are usually on it?
Just the ones you seen there.
Where's the main encampment?
About 3 miles out. They haven't built a stockade yet. Hey, you're not planning on going out there, are you?
It depends. What do you know about a man named Cobb?
Oh, school teacher? You know, I thought there's something funny about all of that. You here to see him?
Yeah. What's funny?
The funny thing is that they bothered with him at all. They're not holding him at the encampment. I saw him this morning at the Clifford house when I delivered bread.
Is that the end?
They're holding him in a room on the 2nd floor. There's a couple of soldiers and an officer.
Was he all right when you saw him this morning?
Looked kind of pale. Only saw him for a second. They're bringing him out of the schoolroom. Hey, Daniel, what's so all-fired military about a school teacher?
Take my word for it. He's important.
Hey, that's the first time I've seen him.
Burt. Colonel George Burt.
These Indians will require quarters indoors.
Sir,
Where is the prisoner?
on the 2nd floor, sir.
Maxwana, come with me.
If you gentlemen will follow me.
You figure he's here for the school teacher?
I do.
But Daniel, if he knows you, isn't that going to make your job a little bit harder here?
Well, we've never met, fortunately. The only time I've seen him is from a distance.
He always travel with an Indian escort?
No, not always, but he's full of surprises. Does this bakery have a delivery wagon, one big enough to carry 2 people?
It'll carry 3.
I've quartered the Indians in the ballroom, sir.
Is there a fireplace?
Yes, sir, but I don't think it'll be necessary. The weather's been quite warm.
So it has. However, our allies have many uses for fire, as no doubt you will learn. But never at first hand, I trust.
I'm afraid I don't follow you, sir.
I have made a study of the various tribes in this area and have found the Ottawa to be the most advanced in the arts of persuasion, best suited to my work. Is that not so, Maxwana?
I am not a judge of your work.
As you see, they're a pretty surly lot. However, I can deal with them. I've concluded a war treaty with them. Now they're our allies. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Clemens?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Good. Now, send in Mr. Cobb. I'm very curious to see what he looks like.
Yes, at once, sir.
Put it back. There's no magic in it. Not your kind, at any rate. Not even a picture.
I can read.
As I live and breathe, it can read. Tell me, my knowledgeable friend, in your vast store of acquired knowledge, have you come across a manual which describes how an Ottawa brave should address a British officer?
That is not mentioned in the war treaty.
A guardhouse lawyer. How very tiresome. Oh, good. You are Professor Cobb.
I demand to know why I have been held here without being apprised of the charges against me.
Let me understand you correctly, sir. Are you suggesting that I should waste my time and yours by pretending that you have been unworthily and unlawfully detained?
This is my classroom. I teach school. I was not aware of a law that had been passed forbidding that.
Do sit down at the head of the class, if you please.
Once again, I demand that... What's the use?
You don't look well.
Are you a doctor?
In a way. Though I do not treat bodily ailments. His Majesty's government has found me useful in dealing with more pernicious types of disease. Now, sir, if you and I could work out together...
You talk too much, sir. Get to the point.
Is that the way you talk to your pupils?
My pupils, sir, range in age from 6 to 14. I should think a man of your age would know better. I teach the English language. I presume you are an Englishman.
Yes. And you, sir, are impertinent.
Which of us is the impertinent one is a matter of opinion, Colonel. In any case, I fail to see that I have a great deal to lose, whatever my attitude.
Not a great deal, as you say. Particularly since you've already lost your wife and son in this idiotic rebellion.
You, sir, are not only impertinent, you're an insensitive boor. My wife and son are none of your affair.
But you are, Professor. You are. I have traveled a great distance to devote myself exclusively to you. Are you going to be reasonable?
About what?
I have been authorized to make the following proposition to you. Upon delivery of your code, you are to be paid a draft upon the Bank of England in the sum of £10,000 sterling. You are to be set free, and no further claims or demands to be made upon you.
10,000. That's truly splendid. A man could live out his life very happily with 10,000. Too bad.
Mr. Cobb, I have here in my possession captured documents which prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that you are the author of this code.
I see.
Now, sir, your answer.
No.
Your final answer? Mr. Cobb!
I was just thinking. Mrs. Cobb would have been very proud to hear about the Bank of England. Yes, sir. My final answer now. Order my execution and get it over with.
It's not quite as simple as that. Come here, will you? This is Maxuana, the war captain of our allies, the Ottawas.
Ningandi Kotaka.
Oh, he speaks English.
I'm sure he does. I've known many of his nation. I admire them.
And no doubt you're acquainted with their tribal customs.
Somewhat.
In particular, the treatment that they accord to prisoners. Important prisoners, that is.
Torture. I hadn't considered that.
Good. Now, will you do so?
In my condition, I'd be dead in 5 minutes.
On the contrary. Maxuana here tells me that he and his colleagues can keep a man on this side of death, the painful side, Mr. Cobb, for 24 hours at least. They make a kind of game of it. They call it a ritual. It's part of their religion. The prisoner is treated as an honored guest at a great feast. He is alternately tortured and fed. During his rest periods, he is expected to propose toasts, tell stories, share jokes with his tormentors. All this, of course, depends upon his ability to withstand pain. Now, in your case, Mr. Cobb, I suspect that when your time off comes, you will be screaming for mercy, begging for them to kill you and all that sort of thing. Now, why subject yourself to such misery? Tell Mr. Cobb that what I say is true. That if I order it, he will carry out the tortures I've described.
What he says is true. I will do as he orders. It is mentioned in the war treaty.
I'll give you some time to think it over. A little time. Guard! Give me what I ask, and I will send this savage away.
If there is a savage here, it is not the Ottawa.
Take him back. He's so frail. I don't want to risk losing him through your incompetence.
That man is not fit to be put to a test of strength. It is unfair. But we are not incompetent.
That is for me to judge. You will select 2 braves to go on a raiding party.
For what purpose?
You see these? A few members of your race have served the crown well enough to earn them. You will never be one of those few until you learn to do as you are told.
I have no wish to be an officer. And I am not your body servant.
You will tell them to proceed upstream about 10 miles to a village called Kimberley. They will enter the village under cover of darkness. They will capture this person and bring him to me here. Any further questions?
No.
It's 5 minutes up and back. Sure you don't want me to go with you?
Just have that wagon ready to roll.
Remember, the livery stable is just off the square.
We'll find it and we'll meet you there.
Mr. Cobb. Mr. Cobb.
Who is it?
Just listen. Is your door locked?
Yes. There's a guard at the door.
Have they started?
No, they haven't touched me. But they should begin soon. We haven't much time.
This shouldn't take long.
Polter, I'll fire! Captain! Captain!
Colonel Burton, sir. We apprehended this man carrying a coded message. His name's Wingate, a local citizen.
Where did you get the message? Talk! Maxuana. There's something I need to learn. Get your men ready.
We cannot raise the dead.
The message.
I have it here.
This is too carefully worked out to be a forgery. This business at the top is obviously a reference to a key to the code. If only this man had lived.
It all happened so suddenly, sir. There was no time to stop soldiers from shooting.
Do you realize what this means? It means that each one of these villages has a leader who can decipher the code. Now, if we can find the key to it, there will be nothing standing between us and total victory. Those braves I sent to Kimberley should be back by now. Where are they?
It will not be long.
I can't wait. Come with me, you too.
You think you can get the boards off in time?
You just keep watching that door. Unlock it. Mr. Cobb, I would like you to know. Get away from that window. I said get away from the window. What's going on here? If you're thinking of trying to escape, Mr. Cobb, we have soldiers posted below.
Glad to see you gentlemen are being sensible.
You only have one shot. There are 3 of us.
4, and only one worth shooting. Take their guns, Mr. Cobb. Professor.
You won't get more than 10 feet from this room.
We've got to get over to that livery stable. Better take the safest route. Are you up to it?
I'll try.
If they escape, there'll be more than one court-martial. Now spread out and search for them. And find them. Well?
My braves have returned from Kimberley. They have done as you ordered.
Oh, well done for a change. Bring them along.
I've got to catch my breath.
Gotta get down on the other side of this building. My friend will see us at the stable, bring the wagon out. We'll make a run for it, jump in, and leave this little town in a hurry.
I'll do my best.
Sure you will.
Mr. Cobb! We were talking earlier about the matter of your sacrifices. There was one person that you neglected to mention. You still have one son remaining. Raymond Cobb, presently living with an aunt at Kimberley. Presently my prisoner, Mr. Cobb. Either you give me the code or your son will die, and in the manner which I have already described. I know you can hear me, Mr. Cobb. You remember our conversation about the Ottawa methods?
He's lying.
I've got to see.
Even if it's true, Mr. Cobb, he's not the kind of man to keep his bargains.
What are you talking about?
You're far too valuable to the Continental Army. He'll never let you go, don't you know that?
But he's got my son.
We can't be sure.
Father, don't come out! Do you hear me? Father, don't come out!
Do it. Look, get away as best you can, please. I don't want to involve you in this.
I can't do that.
You're mad.
I know how you feel, and I promise you I'll do everything I can to get your son free.
My boy. You have a son?
I have.
Wife living?
I have.
I lost my wife when the river forts were shelled by the Continental Army, Mr. Boone. My oldest son, the first year of the war, fighting for that same army. 5 years. I gave 5 years when I could have been living comfortably in Maryland with a fine home for my wife, a university, a library, and my 2 sons growing up in an atmosphere where they would have known what the world is really like. I killed them all.
No, you haven't. But unless you come with me, you'll kill your son, Mr. Cobb. And if I kill you, your son will be of no further use to Burton, and he will kill him. Believe me. Now, do we move, or do I squeeze this trigger?
Mr. Cobb, you have put me to a great deal of trouble. I want this foolishness to stop at once.
It's just a short run from here.
Please, stay out of this. I don't want your death on my conscience.
Here! Here I am! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! I'm all alone. The other man got away.
Those poor, pathetic rebels. See that he regains consciousness fully before you kill him. Inside. Well, as you see, your son is unharmed.
Untie him and let him go home.
All in good time. We intercepted this message tonight. We took it from a man named Wingate.
Wingate? The barrel maker?
The late barrel maker, unfortunately. Now, Professor Cobb, you will show us how your code is constructed. Then you will decipher this message. At that point, your son and you will be free to go. I do not think there is any need for further persuasion.
Father, I'm not... What about this man?
Obviously a spy.
No, he's not a spy, Colonel. He was only trying to help me. If you want the key to the code, you will release him as well.
Very well. Clemens? Kill this man now. I do not yet know about the boy.
Among my people, a man who does not keep his word has no honor. You gave your word that this man would go free.
Yes, I did. One has to do that kind of thing in wartime. Either you will do as you are told, or I will have you burned alive. It is mentioned in the war treaty.
I have been ordered to do this.
You fear your white colonel more than you honor your ancestors.
Why do you say this?
The Ottawa pride themselves on their skill at the slow death.
That is true.
Aren't you a true Ottawa? Don't you practice the ritual of your tribe? Unless this man is not a full-fledged brave, I insist on my right to die with honor.
How have you earned this right?
We fought and I won.
You ask for pain? You prefer it?
I insist on it.
The knife would be quick. Why do you choose the slow death?
I choose to die with honor.
Very well. A brave warrior has fallen into our hands. Let us treat him with honor, that the manner of his death be not forgotten by any.
Mr. Boone, why?
I've seen one or two of these, boy. Maybe you better look the other way.
As long as the warrior maintains his hold on the war axe, the ceremony will continue. The moment he lets go, he dies. Let the ceremony begin. The warrior will partake of the ceremonial wine.
I am honored.
We will begin with the ritual of the clubs. Your pardon is asked.
You haven't?
The honored guest may eat and drink and have speech with us.
Let me say at once, I'm proud to be the honored guest to the Ottawa. The mightiest of nations, bravest in battle. A warrior without food is like a fire without wood. My people have a saying. Baker of bread holds the key to all things.
Among our people, the bakers of bread are women and old men. We have no such saying.
Bread is our staff of life. We depend on the baker of bread. Without his help, we would surely die the slow death.
Tell us of the red men who dwell near your home.
Oh, mainly Cherokee, Shawnee. There's an amusing story about that. I think it's amusing anyway. It seems one winter, the rivers froze up earlier than usual.
It is a relatively simple system. The English alphabet consists of 26 letters. Cryptography, the art of ciphering, is merely the substitution of one symbol for another. In the case of the Continental Code, it is letter for letter. Now, one may also use numbers, which makes it more difficult. Now, with only 26 possibilities, there are at most 676 permutations.
I don't mean to rush you, Mr. Cobb, but would you please get on with it?
The key to this code is always a phrase in English consisting of letters and punctuation marks, totaling 26. The message is coded to one of 10 keys. The directions for decoding are to be found at the top of the message. Once you know the phrases, you have the key. Child's play.
Fascinating. Then you will have no difficulty in deciphering this.
Not a great deal.
Then proceed. Proceed.
The way they finally settled it was a brave that could toss the bullet farthest won the firewood. It was the coldest winter I can remember.
The honored guest has eaten and drunk for the first time. He must now submit himself once again to the punishment.
Document number 3, line 3, phrase 3.
Which is document 3?
The Declaration of Independence. Do you have a copy?
I have not, but I sincerely hope for your sake that you have.
That all men are created equal.
Thank you. Thank all of you. I believe we were talking about cold weather. I think I'd like to get back to that.
T-H-A-L.
Just a moment. Where is the second T in the word that?
There is no need to spell it out twice, since the letter T in this code key can also stand for A, D, or R. We simply place the letters next to T. The rest is a simple process of elimination.
A process that might take hours. Will you decode this message at once, please?
I'll do no further work until I see my son standing here unhurt.
Mr. Cobb, I don't think that you're aware of how ridiculous that request is at this point.
I'm also aware that you are pressed for time, Colonel. You should be willing to pay for it. I'm not asking for much, but I will have what I ask for.
Very well. Clements. Come with me.
I think you all know the legend behind the story of coming to the first winter.
Take young Cobb up to his father's classroom. What in heaven's name is going on here? I ordered you to kill this man.
He has chosen to die with honor.
He has chosen? Oh, but of course, I'd forgotten. I had completely forgotten the reason why I employed you in the first place. And what is this? Practice?
You have intruded upon a sacred ritual. I order you to leave.
You order me? Oh, no, my savage friend. That is definitely not included in the war treaty. I've been altogether too lenient and free and easy with you. Consider yourself under house arrest.
We will not obey.
You all follow this man. It is best you know the consequences. Treaty or no treaty, I will not be disobeyed. Follow Maxuana, and he will lead you to your deaths. Now, I order you to kill this man now, and place this one under restraint. Now.
Maxuana, you might as well do as he says. Death with honor has no meaning unless it comes from a worthy victor. And all this time, I thought you were your own man.
Be quiet. You have bought enough time as it is.
I am my own man.
You are an animal, and you shall die like an animal. That's better. Now, once again, I order you to...
The ritual will continue.
The legend of the first winter. The first man to walk the earth. I believe you call him Wajunkaga. We call him the baker of bread. One night, a voice came to him saying, now is the time to come to the cause of all men who seek freedom. Go up to the room where the sons of men are taught wisdom and rescue the bringer of knowledge, now that he is secure in the safety of his own son. But move with caution, for those who seek to destroy freedom will be looking for you. Now is the time, O baker of bread, now.
I do not understand.
Well, give me just a moment to clear my mind.
February what? The date, man.
Hundreds and hundreds of Continental soldiers will die because of me.
Nonsense. It just means the whole thing will be over sooner.
Sooner for some.
Don't be a fool!
Hold it! Professor. Well timed, Professor.
Burton, he knows the key to the code.
Burton's dead. Let's get out of here. Come. We'll have to make a run for the stable. Are you ready? Come on.
Hold! Hold, don't shoot!
Go to the stable and get in the wagon. Hurry. Go.
The animals were jealous of his power over fire, and they sought to destroy him, but his father had a plan.
What was the plan?
You know, I forgot.
No. Let the brave warrior escape. He has earned it. And let us leave the dishonorable men to their own dishonor.
Dan, over here! Get the wagon!
Just got word. Clark has retaken St. Vincent.
Well, since Wingate the barrel maker was dead, I guess the attack was carried off without benefit of my code.
Not at all. Another message was sent. Wingate had a replacement. You didn't. Excuse me. Dan, we've got to have a talk.
Jim, I haven't had any sleep for 72 hours.
Now, Dan, tell me the truth. Was I right? Would you ever, in this long and fruitful life, ever once kill a man in cold blood? Even if George Washington himself asked you pretty please.
Offhand, I can only think of one man I'd shoot in cold blood. That's the fellow who keeps talking when I'm trying to sleep.